Let's get started.
All right, we should be live.
Perfect. So I'll just start off by a little bit about ourselves. So of course, the firm was founded in November 2019, largely built during COVID. We serve the Abbotsford to Chilliwack market, primarily do real estate law, but we also offer other services as well, like wills and estates, business law, all types of transactions. So value-added services for our clients. That includes, we do virtual services, extended hours of operation, mobile services. Of course, there's additional costs for that, but we do offer that. We are the #1 real estate firm in Chilliwack on Google. So check out our reviews. And we were also voted this year, for the finalist for the best law firm lawyer in Chilliwack with the Chilliwack Progress A-list. So a couple challenges. Of course, competition has been around for a long time. They have an established network for referral partners as well. So we're trying to break into that market by doing things a little differently as well. Hearing feedback, hearing from clients as well, what they'd like to see changed, and then implementing that. One of the things too, of course, I always like to go through this, the lack of education in regards to the benefits of using a lawyer over a notary. This is important because lawyers can give legal advice, notaries can't. This is so important in case issues where if things are coming up, there's problems coming up and it's more a complex transaction, this might fall outside of their scope. Notaries, of course, can only draft simple wills. That's something we also do. And this was limited by a 2017 court decision because issues, again, were coming up. Notaries are also not trained in all areas of family business or estates law, which are common areas of concern. We see a lot of issues that come up too. My background is in family law. So, assisting with that knowledge as those issues come up is key. We have more education. There's also the misconception that a notary is cheaper than using a lawyer. That is not always true. And lawyers can provide more referrals to our referral partners. We also act as a broader source of knowledge and legal opinion than notaries for your transactions. I kind of touched upon this, but I'll go into a little bit more. So we do client-focused service. We actually look to see what clients say and take in their feedback. And then, of course, these are issues that come up quite a bit is sometimes notaries or even firms, sometimes you see issues where we're facing clients getting dropped last second due to overscheduling, or maybe their file's more complex and then they're needing someone to come in, step over, take over, and there's closing date in like 2 days. So that's stuff that we do take on, but again, it's always better to have that client at the very beginning to avoid that from happening. I mentioned we have extended hours of operation, evenings and Saturdays, mobile services, so we can go to our clients if need be. Virtual services as well. Of course, this is all based on what's permissible by the Land Title Office, and transparency in pricing, which is something I'll get into in the next couple slides as well. So we are the only lawyer notary firm in Chilliwack to Abbotsford who publishes their price lists the way we do, which is in an easy to read invoice that we find competitors cannot necessarily replicate due to the systems that they already have in place. And yes, so a little bit about ourselves that Corinne was so kind to mention in the beginning, that we utilize latest in legal technology. We're trying to automate where we can. So we have lower costs. It's more efficient for use of resources, better service delivery. We have that flexibility and lower overhead with cloud-based systems. We find competitors' software is too rigid to allow for more transparent invoicing. And we also work out of the co-work space or at home. So those are all savings that we can then pass on to clients. And we also make use of remote contractors, and there's also a network we have of other solo lawyers. Okay, so a couple things. This again ties into pricing. So recently, there was a change by Dye & Durham, which is leading conveyancer software. And this last November, they increased their prices substantially from about $25 to $79 to almost $200 per file plus GST and PST. And some places were actually like, if you had a purchase and a sale happening at the same time, or a client was selling and buying, they would charge that on both those files. That's almost $400 right there. And firms were billing this onto the statement of justice, but it wasn't showing up on the invoice. So clients would not actually see that line clearly. And that would also impact the way they're quoting prices to clients, because they'll say, oh yeah, we can do the sale purchase, it'll cost X amount of money, but they're not telling the client about these additional costs, like, oh, and there's also this $199, right? So we bill all of our costs on an invoice to be transparent, and I'll show you what our invoice looks like in comparison so you can see, because it's a little hard to explain. So we avoid any issues with hidden fees. And we do not charge as well for any file opening, printing, file storage, those weird fees. You won't see them on our bills because these are not third-party costs. They go to that lawyer or that notary firm. That's not going somewhere else. And again, we switched to a less costly provider. So we only charge our clients $32, not almost $200, and that's only for purchases, not for sales. So we found a different program to use that's actually quite more affordable, and we pass that savings on to our clients. So for some files, clients are saving almost $400 alone on this. If you want to learn more about our invoicing, let us know. We're more than happy to explain. This one shows what that looks like. So here you see this ProSuite electronic filing service fee, $200. An off-site file storage fee, all those add up. But then if you look at there below where you see estimated disbursements, that number doesn't include this service or program fee. And so here it's like, okay, so am I paying $127 and that's it? No, you're paying the $127, you're paying their legal fees. There's also these fees going on as well. But when they're quoting a price, they might be saying $775 to you. So you see all these fees can add up, and it's not clear. They're not breaking down these disbursements. You don't see like, okay, is this printing? What is it, right? You don't see that. And then in comparison, it doesn't look like, well, you have to contact us and I'll show you our bills. But our bills will show our breakdown for disbursements. So you will see like, if there's a printer fee, there's the printer fee on that line, land title. So this is where it kind of goes into this brochure where we break down those prices. You'll see here, we have all of these disbursements, these third-party prices, and we update it. So you know exactly, okay, what is the title search going to cost? Because these are fees that we don't have control over that are required. So you see those fees broken down. This is, again, this is the front page of the brochure that we'll also provide. So we hand these out to realtors, mortgage brokers, and explains who we are, the service we provide. We have QR codes as well, so you can get this information online. Nobody else does this. So we noticed like competitors have been around for a long time, but they haven't yet kind of taken time to go through figuring out how to make bills easier for clients to read and see. So that's why we've done this. Again, this is that page I showed you before where it breaks down all those pricings. We have it very clear before taxes. We note, that we don't use these software fees. Clients can always reach us for more detailed quote if they have a file that's going to be more complex, because we do set out like this is what it would cost for a sale and a purchase if there's one discharge. If there's more, we can give a quote for that as well. And this is, I'm just tidying up here because we're at 8 minutes, but this is our referral cards. So we have QR codes and they tap as well. So we can provide those to realtors or mortgage brokers, scan, tap, whatever works easiest for you. We found these to be helpful for clients because the question clients come up with, how much does it cost? Who can handle my conveyance? Great. This is a one tap or scan. They can get all that information versus having to call around and get information from competitors. This makes it easier for realtors as well. And then of course, I mentioned before, client mentions your name as the referred by, we give that client a $50 discount per file. So summary, like I mentioned, please feel free to contact us. We offer all these different services, virtual presence in Abbotsford. I do want to hit really quickly about this. We do one intake, one appointment, one trip to the bank for our purchase. We also do DocuSign. At the end of the day, we're trying to get the deal done in a way that maximizes efficiency. And our philosophy is there should be no reason to refer clients anywhere else. So that's where we work. That's our focus, and that's how we build our business. So thank you. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. That's my information. I hope you guys have a good rest of your morning. I know there's more to come, so I'll hand it back to Jessica, or sorry, Linda.
Thank you, Erin. That was awesome. That was an incredible presentation. And I love the way you really broke it down, the differences and some of the hidden fees, etc. Anybody have any questions for